58 years ago. In the heart of small-town Minnesota, a sharp-dressed businessman named Benn stepped out of a smoky cafe into the crisp September night, pockets stuffed with thousands in cold, hard cash. And poof, he ghosted. No noche. No fight. No trache. Just a dark suit, rumpled from a long day. Gold cufflinks glinting under the streetlights like they were mocking the empty parking lot. Folks whispered, he skipped town for a secret life. But deep down, his family knew better. Roy was the rock, the provider, the guy who fixed appliances and built empires from brick and grit. Then, last month, a couple of luck-struck fishermen snag a walleye and spot a shadow on their sonar, a rusted '63 Buick Electra, swallowed by the Mississippi River like a bad dream. They haul it up, and inside bones, human bones tangled with old receipts and a wallet faded to leather ghosts. DNA hits. And bam, it's Roy. After all these damn years. The river coughs up its secret. And what spills out? A web of neighborhood shadows, buried cash, and horrors that make your gut twist like a knife in the dark. This ain't just a cold case crack. It's a reckoning. Fam, with justice dropping heavy like divine intervention on a prayer that's been echoing for decades. Before we dive into this mind-blowing story, hit me up in the comments where you're watching from today. Chicago basements, LA high-rises, or some rainy Seattle spot, nursing a coffee, and if you're digging this vid, smash that subscribe button. Fam, turn on notifications so you don't miss the next drop. More cold cases getting cracked. More chills, straight to the bone. Picture it, Sartell. Minnesota. September 25. 1967. The air's got that bite. Autumn creeping in like an uninvited guest. Leaves crunching under tires on the gravel lot outside King's Supper Club. Benn. 59 years young but feeling every ache from hauling washers and dryers all week. Pushes through the heavy wooden door. He's dapper as hell, dark suit tailored just right. French-cuffed white shirt, starched crisp. Those gold and pearl cufflinks catching the neon glow from the sign. In his hand, a briefcase. Fat with cash from rent collections at his St. Cloud apartment building. Roy's the king of his corner, owns the joint. Fixes folks' fridges when they break down in the dead of winter. Always got a joke or a cold beer for the neighbors. Financially comfortable, don't cut it. Man's loaded. Carrying stacks that could choke a horse thousands. Easy. From side hustles and savvy deals. But tonight, something's off. His eyes, usually sparkling with that easy charm, dart to the shadows. He nods to the bartender, tips his hat to a couple regulars nursing whiskeys, and steps out. The parking lot's quiet, save for the distant hum of the Mississippi. That lazy beast winding through town like it owns the place. Roy's Buick Electra gleams under the moon, cherry red. Waxed fresh that morning by his own hands. He slides in, engine purring to life with a low rumble that shakes the frost off the windows. Headlights cut the dark, sweeping over potholes and forgotten cans. He's thinking about home. About his wife Elsie waiting up with a cup of tea and the radio crooning some Sinatra tune. Their kid's grown now, but still his baby's scattering across the state. Building lives he helped fund with every late-night repair call. Roy ain't the type to vanish. Nah. He's the anchor. The one who shows up when the power flickers out in a storm. But as he eases onto the road, taillights fading into the night, something shifts. A shadow in the rear view. A whisper from the woods. He freezes. Hand tightens on the wheel. Then nothing. The road stretches empty. Benn is gone. Back at the house, Elsie stirs in her armchair. Clock ticking past midnight. The tea's gone cold. Steam long evaporated like her worries turning to dread. She calls the café. First line buzzes dead. Then the sheriff's office. Voice cracking like thin ice. Roy. He ain't come home. The operator's sympathetic, but it's small-town protocol. Wait it out. He probably hit a bar. Tied one on. But Elsie knows. Roy don't drink heavy. Don't chase skirts. Don't got debt, shazin him. By dawn, the neighborhood's buzzin'. Neighbors cluster on porches. Coffee mug steamin'. Eyes red from no sleep. Old man Hargrove from next door shakes his head. Pipe clenched in teeth. Roy nah. Something's wrong. Saw him last week. Talking low about some deal. Gone sour downtown. Whispers ripple shady tenants in his building. Folks who pay late and vanish quick. Elsie clutches a photo Roy smiling at a family picnic. Arm round her waist. Kids laughing in the background. Her heart's a lead weight. Heavy ass ache that settles in her chest like river mud. Days bleed to weeks. The sheriff's deputies comb the woods. Drag the river with hooks that come up empty. Flyers plaster telephone poles, missing Roy Benn. Woo. Esh. 180 pounds. Last seen in dark suit. Rewards pile up $500 from the Rotary Club. More from Elsie's savings scraped thin. The kids rally son, Tommy, a mechanic in Minneapolis. Drives back every weekend. Pounding pavement till his boots wear through. Daughter, Clara. Teaching school in Duluth. Writes letters to papers. To voice, shaken on the phone. Daddy wouldn't leave us. He loved this life. But leads dry up like the autumn creek beds. A sighting in Fargo, false. Tip bout a John Doe in Wisconsin, wrong face. By winter, snow buries the search. And hope thins to a whisper. Elsie arches overnight. Lines etch deep round her eyes. Hands trembling as she folds Roy's suits into drawers that stay shut. Neighborhood secrets, fester, unspoken, whispers of a local crew. Bootleggers turned land developers. Squeezing small-timers for protection cash. Roy fixed their iceboxes. Sure. But did he hear too much, see too much in those late-night calls to the building? Years grind on. Relentless as the Mississippi's current. 1,968. Elsie declares him legally dead. Signing papers with a pen that slips in her tears. The apartment building sells. Cash going to the kids. But it feels tainted. Like blood money from a ghost. Tommy marries. Has his own boy, names him Roy Jr. A tiny fist clenching round a photo of the grandpa he'll never meet. Clara buries herself in books. Teaching history to kids who ask, "Bout loss?" Her voice steady but eyes distant. Elsie. She grinds through it. Planting roses in the yard. Talking to Roy like he's just stepped out for smokes. Brought in a good haul today. Usen. To non paid up. But nights she paces. Staring at the river from the porch. That dark ribbon mocking her with its secrets. Neighborhood changes King's Supper Club shutters. Becomes a laundromat. Old Hargrove passes. Taking his pipe stories to the grave. New folks move in. Oblivious to the hole, Roy left a chasm in the community fabric. Frayed edges where trust used to be. Flash forward to the 70 seconds. Watergate on the TV. Gas lines snaking round blocks. But in Sartell, the Benn mystery's a local legend. Told over beers at the VFW. Tommy dives into it amateur style. Clip pin articles. Interviewing old-timers. One night, buzzed on hams. A retired deputy spills Roy crossed paths with the wrong cats. That building of his hotbed for funny business girls coming and going. Cash junction hands after dark. Tommy's blood runs cold, trafficking vibes. Back then, it was hushed. Neighborhood secrets, buried under polite nods and locked doors. Roy, fixing a fridge in the basement. Might have stumbled on it. Overheard cries. Seen bruises on arms that didn't match the renter's stories. Elsie overhears Tommy's notes. Clutches her chest. My Roy involved in that filth. No. He was good. Tommy. Pure good. But doubt creeps. A worm in the apple. Wrote. Settling deep. 80 seconds roll in. Neon and big hair. Clara's got kids now. Grandbabies, who finger paint Roy's photo. Asking why'd Grandpa go swimming forever. She tells them stories embellished. To soften the edges. Roy, the hero. Chasing adventure. Not the victim of shadows, but privately, she digs. Visits the building now condos. Shiny and soulless chats up the super. Heard tales about the old days. Anything linger? The guy shrugs. But his eyes flicker. Folks moved on. Some skeletons stay buried. Clara pockets a snapshot from her purse, Roy at a block party, arm slung round a tenant's shoulder. Both laughing, but zoom in behind him. A face in the window, pale and watchful. A key clue, hidden in plain sight. Pixels waiting for tech that ain't born yet. She tucks it away. Heart pounding like a drum in a storm, 90 secondes internet dawns. But cold cases like Roy's gather digital dust. Elsie weakens. Hips given out from years of worrying herself sick. On her deathbed, 1992. She grips Tommy's hand. Voice, a rasp. Find him. Son. For me, let him rest. Tommy nods. Tears streaming down like a waterfall. Soak in the bedsheet. He feels that real purpose grind kick-in ain't just grief now. It's a fire. He scans the photo into a clunky computer. Pixels blurry but insistent. That face in the window rings a bell. Local name, Vito, the Fixer Malone. Small-time enforcer for the crew that ran the river. Trade booze. Broads. Whatever paid. Trafficking whispers turned to shouts in Tommy's mind. Roy saw too much. Fixed too many machines in basements where deals went down. A threat. A witness. Elsie slips away that night. Peace eluding her to the end. Leaving Tommy with a vow heavier than chains. Millennium flips. Iket Dukvisle. Tommy's grayin'. Roy Jr. Joining the grind. A diver now. Ironically, hauling wrecks from lakes for insurance gigs. They bond over the case. Father-son dives into microfiche at the library. Unearning threads. 2005 amperes break. Sorter. An old tenant surfaces. Doddering in a nursing home. Roy Goodman. Helped my girl when she run from. Bad folks. Bad folks. The word hangs. Laced with abuse vibes that curdle the air, Tommy presses what kind of bad the woman fades. Eyes milky. Men with money. Dog girls. Promised stars. Delivered hell. Tommy's stomach flips. Roy's building ground zero for a ring that shipped young women upriver. Across state lines. Into nightmares of locked rooms and broken spirits. Roy knew. Tried to stop it. The photo's face. Vito pops in. Searches arrested once for assault. Walked free. Tommy forwards it to the BCA. Minnesota's cold case unit. Check this. My pops might have been in deep. Crickets. Years drag. 2010. Segundo. Social media explodes. True crime. Pods. Suck airtime. Tommy starts a Facebook group Justice for Roy Benn. Posts the photo. Blows it up. Comments flood. That guy in the back. My uncle's neighbor. Shady as hell. Tips trickle anonymous DMs about river dumps. Cars weighted with secrets. Roy Jr. Scans sonar on his dives. Eyes peeled for Buicks. Heart racing every blip. Clara's gone now. Cancer taking her quiet. But her kids carry the torch. Granddaughters posting videos. Grandpa Roy. We miss you. Spill your story. The grind wears Tommy thin retired. But nights sweat-soaked. Dreaming of the river's pull. Roy's voice calling fight. Neighborhood secrets crack open slow. A podcaster snags an interview with a ex-cop. Benn. We suspected Malone's crew. He was carrying cash that night. Maybe payoff to keep quiet. Or maybe he was flipping the script. Going to the feds. Total shocker. Roy. The fixer. Fixed to expose. Then, 2020. Pandemic locks the world. But the river don't care. Tommy's health dips heart murmur. Doxe stress. He writes letters to the sheriff. Begging for a drag. After all these damn years. Give us that. Silence. But fate's a sneaky bastard. August 10. 2025 hot as Hades. Humidity thick enough to swim through. Brody Locke and his buddy. Out for walleye on the Mississippi. Just floatin' lazy. Lena took's big fish. Thrashin'. They netted. High five. But something pings the electronics. A shape. Hulket low. Sonar. Screamin' vehicle. Brody squints. Gut twistin'. Nah. Can't be. But they mark it. Call it in. Heart poundin'. Hands slick on the rod. If that walleye hadn't fought, we'd have drifted past. 100% luck. Man. Divine intervention dropping like a mic. Straight up. Sheriff's office scrambles. Dive team gears up Stern's Benton crew. Wetsuits gleaming under floodlights. August 13. They drop in. Merc swallowing 'em whole. Visibility zero. Like divin through coffee grounds. But there it is, the Buick. Nose down in silt. Weeds clawing at the chassis like skeletal fingers. They rig cables. Winch slow metal groaning. Bubbles reason furious. Up it comes. Drippin', river death. Rusted shell of cherry red, turned graveyard grey. Inside debris, chaos, shattered glass. Mouldy seats. And bones. Human bones. Tangled with a wallet, faded ID slot in Roy's face. Blurry but unmistakable. Cufflinks. 2 gold and pearl. Caked in mud but shinin' defiant. Item scream, Roy Aren't Ledger. Soggy but scripted in his hand. Keys to the building. Bent but loyal. The diver surfaces. Gasps. Air. Voice cracked. It's him. Holy shit. It's him. Word hits the family like a freight train. Tommy. 78. Now. In his recliner. Phone buzzing. Sheriff on the line. We got your dad. Mr. Benn. Tommy freezes. Tears hit first. Hot and unstoppable. Then a laugh roar. Guttural. Relief crashing like waves. Roy Jr. On speaker. Punches the air. Grandpa's coming home. The remains shipped to Midwest medical examiners. Lab rats divin' in with DNA kits that weren't dreams in 67. September 4. Confirmation drops. Positive match. But the cause manor hanging like a noose. Working it. They say, Tommy's heavy-ass heart lightens a fraction. But questions burn. Accident, suicide, or murder. Cold and calculated. Investigation reignitis. Flames licking old coals. BCA pulls files yellowed with age witness statements from 67. Faded ink accusing shadows. That photo digitally enhanced now. Vito's face, crystal sneer lines. Eyes dead. Tommy hands it over. Voice steady for the first time in decades. He knew something. Pups did. Detectives nod. Die deeper. Neighborhood secrets, unearth external. Grey and regretful. Spill over coffee in diners. The building, yeah. Malone ran girls through there, runaways. Promises of modeling ended in bruises and chains. Roy fixed a unit once. Heard screams. Confronted Vito next day. Keep it clean, he said. But Vito laughed. Mind your wrenches. Old man. Chills ripple. Abuse vibes. Hit like a truck, stories of young women. Trafficked up from the cities. Funneled riverward to worse fates. Roy. Carrying that cash. Maybe hush money. Or maybe seed for a bust. A tip to feds he never mailed. To Eastspieler on Relentless. October 2025. Ampere's deathbed confession from Vito's widow. 92, and frail in a hospice bed. Detective leans in. Recorder Werin. Your husband? Roy Benn. She nods. Eyes wet. Vito bragged once. Drunk, said the old man, poked the bear, told him to shut the girls up or he'd talk. Vito drove him that night. After the club, argument by the riverbank. Roy swung briefcase heavy. Vito panicked. Grabbed him. Splash. Then the car. Waited. Pushed in. Voice cracks. He came home shaken. Hands bloody. Buried the truth with the booze. Detective's pulse thunders. Why now? She whispers. Guilt's a river. Eats you slow. For Roy's family. Peace. Tears streaming down like a waterfall. Soak in the pillow. She slips away hours later. But her words gold. Busts go down swift. Vito's gone cancer. 2018. But his nephew. Running echoes of the old crew. Sweats in an interrogation room. Photos slap the table, the enhanced snapshot. Riverbed scans, showing drag marks from 67. Uncle Roy. The kid stammers nephew to Roy. Blood to the ghost. He tried to help one girl. Hid her in the building. Vito found out. It was self-defense. Swear. But the recorder rolls. Lies crumbling. Trafficking ring remnants. Crack-wide arrests. In 3 states. Girls' stories pouring out like pent-up floods. Horrors uncovered basements. Turned cages. Promises twisted to chains. Abuse that scars souls deeper than skin. Roy, the linchpin witness. Silenced by a splash. Cause of death homicide. Blunt force then drowning. Manner, malice. Pure and petty. 2025 memorial at the riverbank. Autumn leaves dancing like confetti for a late hero. Tommy stands tall. Arm round Roy Jr. Grandkids clustering close. Clara's daughters read poems. Voices thick. Grandpa, you fought Kit. We hear you now. The urn ashes from the bones rests under a new stone. Roy Benn. 1908到1967. Anchor eternal. Elsie would have smiled. Roses blooming wild nearby. Justice serves cold revenge nephew cops. A plea. 20 years for conspiracy echoes. Old crew associates scatter. But the light's on. Shadows flee. Neighborhood heals slow therapy circles for survivors. Plaques honoring the lost. Tommy speaks at the VFW. Voice gravel but strong. After all these damn years, the river gave him back. Not just bones, truth, purpose. The road ahead's gonna be a slog. Fam grief, don't evaporate. Scars, itch in the rain. But for the Benns, for the girls, Roy tried to shield. Peace is straight up in reach. Dog, that heavy-ass heart lighter now. Room for laughter at family barbecues. Stories round the fire that end hopeful. Roy's ghost rests easy. Cufflinks polished in some riverbed heaven. Watching over. And us we keep digging. Keep uncovering. 'Cause every cold case cracked is a mic drop on the dark. Hit subscribe. Drop a comment. What case should I tackle next? Stay gritty. Stay real. Peace.